briefly before you wanted to mention, I think at some point, this might be for me personally, Hegel dialectic.
No, I think it's important for everybody to know at least what Hegel was about, because it's well, the master slave dialectic is the way it's framed. I think that doesn't do justice to Hegel or to the concept either. But basically, that opposites work together, and in this case, we can see the mechanism, right? So the master of the slave depends on the slave for his very identity, right? Without a slave, he's not a master,
Right.
right? The slave has no such slavery to the master.
Right. Yeah, there's that Sufi quote. There's no tyranny quite like that of the subordinate on the boss or something like that.
Yes, yes, yes. So true. And so that's why teachers are reticent to take on students, right?
Right.
And they need students that are serious. Now, and then he observed that then, of course, the master is actually the slave to the slave. And that's what we see played out, and so it's something like that. It's a dialectic where the two different poles are depend on each other. It's also Taoist, right? And I haven't done a good job of it, but this is one facet of the dialectic that I think is worth thinking about. If the commandante requires people to call him commandante, if that's his identity, right? The foot soldier has no such, he doesn't care whether you call him a foot soldier or you call him nothing, right? So the commandante is the slave of the foot soldiers, let's say, in a simple example. I mean, it's hard to use a master slave example because of the current, political climate or whatever.
Right.
Because it's very painful and sensitive and all this other stuff. But in a way, that's kind of a distraction from the fact that we're not educating children, which is the source of a lot of our problems. But the whole thing's not going to survive, it looks like. And so we've got to have another set of problems pretty soon. And so, but at any rate, with this dialectic, it's just when you think about it in a Hegelian way, it ends up being very Taoist also, and it's a nice contribution. And Hegel is so dense and so difficult to get through that, it'd be nice for people to at least understand. And then there's the synthesis, the antithesis, and something or other. That's what they teach in schools. I don't know much about that part. But there is this dialectic that I think is useful.
Okay.
Who's depending on whom, right?
Right.
In reality, not in name, but in reality. And so that's something to contemplate.
That relationship is also mentioned multiple times in the Shaw corpus. I think in the Commanding Self alone, at least a couple times.
Yeah, they've got it. They've got it. And so the next iteration of Sufism may be, couched in computer learning terms, machine learning terms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or maybe couched in terms of brain electrodes and things like that. But the outer shell is not what's important. What's important is the inner essence, and the inner essence has been, it's part of mankind, and it has been part of mankind since the beginning. And there are times when it flowers, like 10th century, for example. And times when it dries up. And man, has it dried up. So it's something, along those lines. Mm-hmm. And all the Hegel scholars, please forgive me, because but how do you reduce Hegel to a question and answer session? That doesn't really work, but it's something like that.
Okay.